the culprit of the case. My detective work hasn't failed me. The culprit is inside that exocell. It can only be them. Okay. But why would he do that? Let's find out, hopefully.
The apparent victim we saw in the video was Kaito, which means Kokichi was operating the hydraulic press and camera at first. If the two of them switched while the press was stopped, then the culprit who started the hydraulic press again and crushed Kokichi must be Kaito.
Maybe that wasn't actually a bottle of antidote. You grabbed the wrong one, maybe?
So, the person
So he knew
inside
he'd
the
die anyway,
exocell
but-
isn't Kokichi.
Why would he drink antidote just to kill himself?
It has to be Kaito.
What did you say?
So the culprit for this case is Kaito Momota. That is what the ultimate detective has deduced, right?
Correct.
Kaito is the culprit? What? You're joking, right? You can't.
I don't want to believe it either, but it's the only way any of this makes sense. My detective work has led me to the conclusion that Kaito is the culprit.
Is that true? Is Kaito really in there?
Hey, answer us! If you really are Kaito, then
I'm the culprit.
Huh?
There's just no way that Kaito can still be alive. Because I'm the culprit.
wait, you? But didn't you
I
say?
saw it with my
Why is
own
she-
eyes.
Trying to derail this.
Kokichi drank the antidote that he stole from Kaito. There's no doubt Kaito died. And he died because of my poison arrow.
Yeah, but you don't know how long the poison takes to...
But you told us you didn't
Take
want to
hold.
kill Kaito.
Yes, I never wanted to. I wanted to believe that I didn't kill him. But the truth speaks differently. In the end, I was just running away from the facts.
Huh? I don't understand.
Maki, are you trying to protect Kaito? He's the culprit. You're trying to help him get away?
There was only one antidote, so it's more likely he died from my poison arrow. This is the truth.
It's not decided yet. I could have still killed him with the hydraulic press. Either way, those are the two options. Monokuma knows the answer, right?
Huh? Are those the only options?
I guess that's how things turned out.
No, that can't be! The person in that exocell is...
It's not Kaito! I saw Kokichi drink the antidote! There's no mistake. Kaito is dead. I killed Kaito. There is absolutely no doubt. That's the truth.
We had a closer look at that bottle. Ah, I thought so. Maki is trying to protect Kaito. I understand how she feels. If Kaito is the culprit, why did he agree to Kokichi's plan? I can't imagine that Kaito would do something so selfish. There must be a reason for it. I truly believe that. I have to get to the bottom of this before I can uncover that truth.
But Maki, you don't know for certain that Kokichi drank the antidote.
What?
You saw him drink it right in front of you, but you couldn't confirm he actually did it. So maybe there's another possibility.
What are you talking about? Impossible. That's impossible.
But then why would Kokichi suddenly do a heel turn?
There is no other possibility! I killed Kaito!
Unless this was Kokichi's plan from the start, kidnapped Kaito and just planned it with him from the beginning of the point of kidnapping. Oh.
I killed Kaito!
Whoops.
You're the one who's wrong.
I was just playing the Switch, so
He died from my poison arrow.
this is all backwards. And I'm playing on a
There's no
PS4
other possibility.
controller, and these are Xbox prompts, so...
What do you know?
Okay. I think I've got it around the right way in my head now.
I killed Kaito! It doesn't matter what you say. I'm telling you, this is the truth. But you keep getting in the way. You're so goddamn annoying. It doesn't... I was at the scene,
Were you?
so I know I'm not wrong.
Man, no way you probably saw.
I'm sorry I kept quiet till now. I wanted to believe I didn't kill him. But I won't run away from the truth anymore. Because I know what I saw. I was at the scene. But I won't run away from the truth anymore.
Okay, what is it?
I saw Kokichi drink the antidote.
Tended to drink the antidote.
It ends here!
This game.
Kokichi just pretended to drink the antidote. He didn't actually drink it.
He pretended to drink it?
Drinking the antidote was part of his lie. Maki could only see so much through the window. She didn't confirm Kokichi drank it. I believe that Kokichi knew this and just pretended to drink the antidote.
He had a bolt in his back. I don't know how they just say that that isn't, like, a potentially fatal wound.
After Maki left, he gave the antidote to Kaito. There's a strong possibility that all of this was done to make Kaito cooperate.
Make him cooperate?
The swapping trick required the victim and culprit to work together. Kaito's cooperation was essential to Kokichi's plan. However, I don't think Kokichi would be able to sway Kaito easily.
How?
He needed leverage. He gave Kaito the antidote in exchange for his cooperation.
What was Kokichi's plan? Other than to end his own life, I mean...
In exchange for his own life, you mean?
Kaito had no choice. He had to cooperate after Kokichi saved his life. That's just Kaito's character, and Kokichi knew that. He swallowed his pride with the antidote and agreed to participate in Kokichi's plan.
But didn't Kokichi make this plan? What good is it for him if he's dead?
I imagine this was all part of Kokichi's plan to confuse us.
Well, I guess that does line up with his personality.
You wouldn't think that someone would plan their own murder.
He went so far as to give up his life, just to create this mystery?
Only Kokichi could think of something so nefarious. Who else would agree to die just to execute their plan?
Especially if you think the world has ended.
That's crazy. Why would he go that far?
I bet Kokichi was determined to beat me at my own game, no matter what. But too bad! Shuichi figured out the truth!
Truth? Are you sure it's not delusion?
Delusion?
A delusion completely off the mark. To make you think that I died.
Surely Monokuma has some sort of override on the exocells.
But who cares what you guys think? This is between me and Monokuma. I don't give a crap if the extras in this game get it right or not.
Extras? I'm fine with being an extra. Huh? Why? If we're just extras, then even if we get it wrong, we won't get killed.
No, I'd still kill you all. Don't put Kokichi's words in my mouth!
But why? You are being so friendly with us!
If Monokuma gets it right, then he takes everyone's lives, yeah? But if Monokuma gets it wrong, then he'd have no right to take everyone's lives. If Monokuma doesn't know who the culprit is, then this killing game can't function anymore.
Can't function anymore.
Kaito, I believe in you.
If you're cooperating with this plan, you must have a reason. To determine that reason, I need to reveal the truth.
I still think Kaito is the culprit. Thinking of it that way makes all the pieces fit. I will show you the truth. The truth you can't deny.
But won't that undo the whole plan? Ah, okay, closing argument. Sure. You know, as we're already at this point? Well, let's just go with the photo. So this is hitting the exocell. Alright. Cell inside the hangar. This one? Yep. The only antidote. Electro bomb. Alright. There we go. Kichi in the press. Drink the antidote. The culprit in the press. Yeah, I don't think we really should be solving this because that would undo everything. Undo the mystery to enter the killing game because we'll solve it. Assembling the crossbow. Be the first one. Let's close. Ah. Culprit's left arm. Who was hit by the second arrow Maki fired? Guess it's... yeah. Ichi's right arm. Okay. Alright, we have to track because it was the arrow that Kaito shot, not Maki. 3 arrows. Put this way, and then 3 arrows in the bathroom.
This is the truth of the case! Let's go over the trick that Kokichi and the culprit created together. Last night, Kibo saw Himiko from the window of his lab. She was carrying a black case and heading to the exocell hangar. When she reached the hangar, she handed the case to someone through the bathroom window.
You didn't say to someone. Everyone knows who was in the bathroom.
That someone is the culprit of this case. Locked in the bathroom, the culprit had asked Himiko to bring them a certain weapon. A disassembled crossbow from Maki's lab. The culprit was going to use the crossbow to challenge Kokichi to a fight. Some time passed, and Maki made her way to the hangar. She was going to the hangar to kill Kokichi and save the culprit trapped in the bathroom. However, the hangar had an electric barrier preventing her from entering. Fortunately for her, she had an electro hammer to get around the barrier, in a way.
She must have had a lot of confidence to just approach 4 exocells and then just attack one of them. Like,
She used her electro hammer to disable an exocell and climbed inside.
she wasn't concerned about the other 3.
She knew exocells could bypass the barrier, so she got inside one. Around that time, the culprit and Kokichi began their confrontation. While Kokichi was checking up on them, the culprit ambushed him with a crossbow. But the culprit didn't intend to kill Kokichi. They just wanted to disable him. That's why the culprit aimed for Kokichi's right arm. If they really wanted to kill him, they would have shot him in his vitals. Kokichi reeled from the arrow, and the culprit jumped on him immediately. He didn't want Kokichi to have the chance to summon an exocell with a remote. While they were fighting, something happened that caught them both off guard.
Maki.
the shutter of the hangar opened, and an exisal stepped inside. Kokichi was definitely not expecting an exisal to interrupt them. He pulled out his remote in an attempt to control the exisal.
So did Kokichi come up with this plan on the fly? Once he realized he could save Kaito's life with the antidote. Where'd he get the camera from?
But
They used to have it on
leaped
hand.
out of the cockpit and shot Kokichi with her crossbow. The arrow hit Kokichi right in the back, and it was no normal arrow. The tip was covered in a lethal poison from my lab called Strike 9 poison.
They just gloss over the fact he was shot in the back with an arrow. And just that in itself.
The poison kills slowly. It seems as if Maki wanted Kokichi to confess before he died. But even with poison in his veins, Kokichi continued to spin his lies. When she had had enough, Maki tried to finish him off with another poisoned arrow. But this time, Maki was the one caught by surprise. To keep Maki from becoming the Blackened, the culprit used their body to shield Kokichi. The culprit's left arm was struck by a poison arrow. Maki remembered that there was an antidote in my lab and immediately ran off to get it. The Strike 9 poison slowly circulated through their systems and would soon kill them both. But in that desperate situation, Kokichi thought up a clever lie. He incorporated this unforeseen event into his plan to help him win the killing game.
I liked Ryoma, but he wasn't around long enough to do much. Same with Kyo, I liked him until his trial happened, at which point that sort of fell off a cliff. Yeah, I mean, they're all interesting characters. Smoogie's a bit bland, but yeah, Miyu was a bit much.
Or should I say, help him defeat Monokuma.
Gonta was great. You can't not like Gonta.
That was Kokichi's true objective. It's why he claimed to be the mastermind. Thinking fast, Kokichi closed the shutter so that Maki could not re-enter the hangar. Thus, Kokichi's final lie was set into motion. When Maki returned with the antidote, she couldn't get back inside the hangar. So she went around to the hangar bathroom and passed the antidote through the window.
Like it didn't break
But
on
after the
ground.
culprit was given the antidote, Kokichi immediately snatched it. Kokichi drank down all of the antidote while the culprit and Maki watched in horror. Maki must have been panicking, thinking the only antidote was now gone. She believed that the culprit was going to die from her own poisoned arrow. But it was all another one of Kokichi's lies. He had only pretended to drink the antidote. Maki tried desperately to break into the hangar, even slashing the control panel. But she couldn't get the shutter to open again. Defeated, she had no choice but to leave. After Maki had left, Kokichi took out another weapon. An electrobomb, capable of disabling communication devices for hours.
Wait, I thought he used it beforehand. Which was why the alarm didn't go off when Maki attacked the control panel.
Kokichi's plan
Anyway.
was to use an electrobomb to knock out Monokuma's surveillance cameras. That was why he commissioned Mew to make the bombs in the first place. After detonating an electrobomb, Kokichi coerced the culprit into drinking the antidote.
Like Miyu created these bombs, the hammers, even the remote control to override the exocells. And then after doing that, who tried to kill Kokichi and instead became blackened. Instead got murdered herself. Like, why did she try to kill Kokichi at that point?
In exchange for the antidote, Kokichi asked the culprit to cooperate with his plan. Kokichi needed to work with the culprit to execute his final lie. Under normal circumstances, the culprit would never have agreed to such a plan. But because the culprit owed him for saving their life, they agreed to Kokichi's request. Request is a generous term. It was more like blackmail.
That would hurt, getting an arrow pulled out of your back.
In any case, the two were now working together as accomplices in an insane plan. There was a lot to prepare and not a lot of time. They had to work fast. If Kokichi died from the Strychnine poison, the whole plan would be ruined. After fabricating the scene in the bathroom, the culprit dragged Kokichi to the hydraulic press.
He does not look like he's enjoying that.
This is how the swipe pattern bloodstain from the bathroom to the press was created. Kokichi, with the support of the culprit, stood in front of the press's control panel. The two of them were finally ready to execute the insane lie.
Camera still has not been mentioned.
While Kokichi was setting up the video camera near the hydraulic press's control panel,
One he had in his pocket, I guess.
the culprit laid face up inside the press, draping their coat over their shoulders. Then, Kokichi activated the press and the camera's record button at the same time. The hydraulic press came down slowly, all caught on tape for us to see. Normally, the safety function would have triggered, but the electrobomb had disabled it. The press got lower and lower, and just as the culprit disappeared from view, Kokichi pressed the force stop button and the camera's pause button simultaneously. The two then switched places and also switched roles. The culprit and the victim.
Kokichi's
The
crazy.
would-be victim became our culprit and started up the press and camera. Kokichi had saved the culprit's life because his trick required their cooperation. He wanted to win the killing game, even if it meant dying himself.
Well, I wouldn't exactly call that a win.
And so, Kokichi was crushed by the press, and the whole thing was caught on video. The culprit's left sleeve was dangling from the press, making us think he was the victim. Now alone, the culprit collected the video camera and tore the hydraulic press's power cord so that it could never be raised again.
Really? Just with his hands?
This would make it impossible for us to determine the identity of the crushed body. But there was another reason the victim was killed in this way. It obfuscated the cause of death, making the case that much more difficult to solve. This was all part of Kokichi's plan to create a murder not even Monokuma could figure out.
So why did you help figure it out? Just let Kaito and Kokichi's
With
plan
the
work.
press disabled, the culprit returned to the bathroom to flush Kokichi's clothes. Finally, they climbed inside of an exisal to hide and waited with bated breath. And here they are now in this trial, pretending to be Kokichi. They're trying to deceive Monokuma in order to defeat the true mastermind. And that's it. That's Kokichi's unidentified culprit trick.
Okay.
The culprit is in that exisal.
Not a good
It's
look for
you,
Kaito.
isn't it? Kaito Momota, the ultimate astronaut.
Ah, this game. The ultimate astronaut.
I'm right, aren't I? That's you in there, isn't it, Kaito?
Really? Is it really Kaito?
I must reluctantly agree with Shuichi's deduction.
Man! Shuichi sure loves his crazy deductions!
I guess if he doesn't reveal himself. Oh wait, you can now see an outline. I don't think you could see an outline before. So I'm guessing it's about to open to reveal it. But if he doesn't reveal himself when we pick, would Monokuma then agree? Like, how can he prove that's Kokichi without getting him out? Kaito.
Huh?
You're still not gonna admit it?
Admit it, but it's wrong.
But logically speaking, his deduction tracks.
If it's really Kaito in there, he would have admitted it by now.
Was Shuichi's reasoning wrong somehow?
No, my detective work was flawless. It's the truth. Sure, it's Kaito inside that exocell. So why is Kaito still fighting with me? Is it about Monokuma? Or is there another aspect to this? I mean, he wants to not confirm anything from Monokuma. I mean...
You claim everything is set, and that's it. You don't have any evidence, do you? You all think the body was switched when the hydraulic press stopped for a moment. But that's just speculation in the end. No evidence to back it up. So if we reverse our reverse way of thinking, then it's likely I didn't do anything, right? It's totally possible that the body switching never happened and Kaito is dead.
I only could see one frame more without it just slamming down.
Not just possible. It's the actual truth.
Well, it's true. There's no proof that the bodies were switched.
No, we should trust Shuichi's deduction. I'm sure everything will be okay. This emotion I've learned, I believe you call it faith. That's what I feel right now.
That's right. We have to believe in Shuichi.
Well, I don't care either way. But if you guys get it wrong, you'll have to deal with Monokuma. What will the results of this voting time be? If Monokuma makes a mistake, he won't be able to execute anyone, right? Then it will be my victory. And that will ruin the entire killing game.
Good question. I did have a short about that where I went through from the very first time I played it, and I think other than Shuichi, everyone else has died. So yeah, I'll have to relook at that one. Ruin. I see. So that's your objective. You mean to ruin the killing game itself? That's why Kaito has been so stubborn all this time. I can actually easily check. Okay, so Shuichi and Tsumugi were the two I have right so far, but I also guessed Kaede, Rantaro, who died immediately, and Kokichi. So yeah, I guessed 5. Kaede, Shuichi, Tsumugi, Rantaro, Kokichi. But what does he mean by ruin exactly? Monokuma can do whatever he wants to the rules. How do you ruin something like that? What would be the point?
Come on, Monokuma. Start the voting already.
Yeah, I'm getting to it. Sheesh! Let's proceed with voting time, shall we?
Maybe I should just vote for...
Sorry I fell short of your expectations, but I'm pretty sure I won't make any mistakes.
Just wait for Kokichi to see what happens.
Cause I got the ultimate detective's airtight logic on my side.
Now I know the whole truth and why. I believe in my own logic, and I believe in Kaito. From this point on, it's not about logic. It's about how far I'm willing to go. So despite doing the final... what was it? The final argument? We're still going to have more mini-games or whatever. I probably have to lie and convince people that it's actually Kokichi. I believe in you, Kaito, not as a detective, but as Shuichi Sahara.
Can I just say something? I'd like to have one last conversation before we vote.
I mean, it has to be Tsumugi, because everyone else has at least done something in this game and been interesting or been involved, having a personality, whereas Tsumugi has done nothing but coast through this whole game, just in the background, and somehow still alive. So
One last conversation?
There's more to talk about?
So Kokichi was pretty convincing in this chapter, and I never really thought about it. Like, I completely forgot there was even a mastermind up until Kokichi, other than when they talked about it in the first chapter.
You see, before we vote, there's something I have to say. I just need you all to listen.
Who to first thank? That's a good question. I really didn't know, because, I mean, I didn't really know any of the characters. Maybe Kurumi? Or maybe even Kibo, like he was built robot similar to Monokuma. But then very quickly showed that he was very rich for a robot. Okay, so what are we?
All right, let's pin this down.
We're gonna lie.
Who is inside that exisal? Kaito,
lies?
right?
Never said it.
How do I lie again? It's been a while.
Kokichi's the one who died. And the culprit is Kaito standing right there.
Spotted.
Isn't that correct?
Of course not!
Video.
I would never die!
Kaito's coat.
I trust
Kokichi's
Shuichi.
uniform. Okay, so there's only one point to argue against. Kaito is trying to ruin the game. That's why he's hiding the truth. Don't know exactly why, but he's putting his life on the line for it. But put my faith in him. This is the only way. We've determined up to now. What if I turn it all on its head? Yes, I need to lie. Well, yeah, I made that assumption, but I'm glad it told me.
All right, let's pin this down.
Because earlier in the game, I forgot
Who
you
is
couldn't even
inside
lie,
that
and I spent
exisal?
forever trying to figure out something.
The one-
Kichi spotted, maybe? Oh yeah.
I'll reveal the truth.
Kichi spotted.
Kokichi, I'm sorry. I just can't lie for you anymore.
What?
What do you mean, lie?
Why did you say Kokichi? The one in the exisal is...
I'm so sorry, everyone. I've deceived you all.
Huh?
The truth is, after we found the crushed body, I saw Kokichi.
You saw Kokichi?
Yes. He threatened me, told me that if I didn't do what he said, he'd kill us all. He wanted me to lie about what I saw, so that the trial would be more interesting. But I can't do it anymore. I can't keep lying like this. I have to tell the truth. Kokichi isn't dead. He's alive.
Oh, hold on! Why did you wait until now to mention this?
I'm so sorry, Kibo, but it's true.
Really. I really am sorry, but this is the only way. Kaito is trying to fool Monokuma, trying to ruin the class trial. Kaito is risking his life to do this, then I'll stand by him. Are you talking about in this trial? It's tough because it seemed very obvious, like Kokichi killing Kaito. There was, of course, you had to know there was a twist. So, yeah. Well, actually, no. No. Admittedly, I did think it was Kibo at first. So I thought somehow Kibo got in and killed Kokichi. And Kaito, I assumed, was poisoned and was off, dying somewhere. I believe in Kaito. I believe in what he's trying to do. Because there was a lot in this chapter, including involving the press, that Kibo had no humanity, or like he wanted to be perceived as human, so he kept testing himself. So I thought maybe he just snapped or something. That's where I thought this was going until all this happened. That was before the murder even happened. Monokuma wants to rely on my detective work. Fine, I'll just lie.
Everyone, please, don't vote for Kaito. There's no doubt about it. Kokichi is in that exocell. He's the culprit.
Hey, Shuichi, I don't know what you're scheming, but as far as I'm concerned, you guys aren't extras at all. If you guys are wrong, you're gonna have to take your punishments like champs. Got it?
I'm not wrong. We can't vote for Kaito!
Stop it! That's enough!
Huh?
It's over.
Is it over?
If you guys get it wrong and Monokuma gets it right, then you'll all get punished. There's no way I can let that happen.
Then why did you do this for this whole time?
So, it's fine. Let's end this.
Kaito!
So, it really was you?
My bad for tricking you guys. I'll explain everything.
Please do.
But before that, it's voting time.
Don't explain before you voted.
Alright, don't get it wrong. I'm definitely the culprit. You got it? I'm the one who killed Kokichi.
Kaito, no!
It's just like you to figure it all out, Shuichi. You're really something else. So all you gotta do is believe in your reasoning. That's what detectives
So
do.
if you didn't want... If you didn't want us to vote for Kokichi, then why go through all this? If he was just gonna pop out at the end.
Hey, Monokuma! Let's hurry up and get this vote started!
Well said. Let's get this started then. The heart-racing excitement as the blackened and the spotless face off.
Okay, let's just pick him. Kaito. Why'd you drag
It
this out?
seems the
He was gonna
voting
jump out.
has finished. Now then, let's see the result.
He even voted for himself.
Who'll be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
I mean, Monokuma can't prove it, so... So is he gonna get shot into space?